You're listening to Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran Podcast.
Now introducing your host of Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran, the one-man show, Brian Roof.
What's going on, friends and fam? Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. If not, let's get it better. You know what? I'm excited. So excited for my next guest. He's been on the show before, and let me tell you, since the last time he's been on, he's been super busy. He's on his way. You know, he's pretty much a superstar now. So, I mean, but I'm just excited to have him on. You know, we got to meet each other at Hero Stock. He's a great dude and has an amazing story, and he's just one of those guys that you know. It's one of those stories that you're really proud, and you're so proud to see one of your fellow veterans just doing amazing things. Here to talk all about all the great things he's doing, and he's the Army veteran, Purple Heart recipient, Scotty Hasting. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How the heck are you doing? Is the bigger question, man.
Unbelievable, incredibly busy, but in the best possible way.
Yeah, and that's exactly the great part about it. You know what, bro? And it's weird. The last time you were actually on the show, I even remember telling you that you're going to do great things, and I knew it in myself, man. I mean, you've always had a great voice. You have a great story, and just the ambition and the willingness to just want to learn and do better. I mean, you're nonstop, bro. I mean, and your story goes, you were injured in combat, shot 10 times, and then had to go and try to learn, life differently. Your hand's definitely not, the same that it was before. And here you are trying to pick up new things and boy, just take off with it, dude. So,
it's crazy. Also, it's been a while since I've been on.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff you got going on, man. This is cool. I like this. The intro is awesome.
Real quick and to this point now.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to be more like Joe Rogan-ish with it,
Hey, there we go.
Quick and to the point, But I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, definitely. We've come a long way. And you know what? Before we get going, we're gonna show a little bit, and this is gonna be kind of funny because this is a total blooper on my end, but we're gonna show the last time you was on. It was interview 21, and mind you guys, I was still kind of new at this stuff, so we're gonna laugh at my expense on this. So let me cue this video up real quick, and you guys will see real quick why it's kind of funny. All right. All right, we got the music going, and then I don't know. I push a button and
it's gone,
and it's gone. But I'm still. You'll see. You'll see over here. I'm still.
You see me? I'm double checking. Like, is it something?
You can just see yourself, and I think it will. You're muted. Yeah. See, you're like you whispered. You're muted. So and here I am. So this is what the listeners get to see, the final product right here. And I'm just sipping away on my soda. Yeah.
At this point, I just accepted it. I was like,
right.
Like, there we go.
All right. Well, it looks like he's loving the song. Well, that was a good time. So, hey, everybody out there, if you guys would like to go see the original interview, it is. I guess it came back on at the very end.
You guys got to go check.
We started this
back there.
We got the beginning and the very end of the song. So yeah, if you guys would like to go check it out, go check it out at edasUSMCvet.com. You can go check out his full story, and it's interview 21. Definitely interview you'd want to check out because he definitely goes into depth with all his whole story. But now let's talk about, bro, like all the things that kind of happened after Hero Stock. Because I feel like after Hero Stock in September, things really just like warped for you. So let's kind of start from there.
Yeah, we had some stuff in the works that I wasn't really able to share at the time. But since then, it has been crazy, man. Let's see. I think I think I even got my record deal and my publishing deal and everything since. And
Yeah.
dude, just so many shows of opening for people that I never thought possible, and just
Billboards.
yeah, I've
Billboards
been on
in
billboards.
Tennessee,
Like,
bro.
it's just it's
Over 5 too, guys, by the way. It's Billboards. Nah, he's been on several, and this is in Tennessee.
Yeah, 5. We had 5
Music,
of them at one
yeah, the
point.
music capital, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude.
Yeah, they were all throughout Nashville. So as you were going in and out of Nashville, you saw the billboards.
Wow.
But yeah, man, that's just so. It's just been so crazy, man. It really has, and just yeah, man, just grateful to be able to do what I do and live the life that I live. And it's been insane, man. And now we're looking at even crazier stuff that I never thought possible. I mean, it's
the sky's the limit for you, though, bro. You know,
and it's gonna come full circle because we're gonna do we're gonna do Hero Stock in Nebraska again this year. So, but this year it's gonna be me and the band, and we're headlining it. So
that I'm excited for it. Yeah, do you talk about? It's gonna be a whole different notch right there, right? I mean, the band and all the new songs that you've been doing. I mean,
yep.
Bro,
we're even gonna play some songs that are brand new, that no one else has heard, that we're still working on. So,
we like that.
Yeah,
I always like those little goodies.
We'll play some of them in. So I'm headlining the Hero Stock here in Lebanon, which is the Nashville Hero Stock, and then the one in Nebraska. So both of those dates, I'll be playing some newer songs that people haven't heard yet. So that we're working on for the next EP that we're working out. So
now, how has your stage presence and stuff been done, dude? Because I mean, you've been doing some pretty big performances. You know?
Man.
I know you could have just got thrown right into it, right? I mean, I know you kind of you did kind of smaller things like going into the coffee shops and doing TikTok. You know, I mean, that was you were hammering that stuff in. So I mean, that kind of stuff warmed you up for the bigger stage.
Yeah, I think I played on Broadway for a long time, which is down here in Nashville. I played and I played solo acoustic stuff, and I think honestly, I think that helped me so much. It helped me be able to number one, stay humble, because down on Broadway, you could be playing for 300 people, a full room, or you could be playing for the bartenders. You never know day by day what it's going to be. And also you learn very quickly how to interact with people and how to connect with people. And because you have to, I mean, you're playing for tips. Like, you have to be able to connect. You have to be able to interact. And I think that, Broadway was huge for that. It not only gave me more experience being on a stage, but it also helped me understand the ability, how to interact and how to connect with the people that are listening. But yeah, man, it's been crazy since we just went to Normandy, France for the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
I was going to ask you about all that. That's a good segue right into it now.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever been able to do in my entire life. And probably,
dude, I was so envious.
And it was insane because we played shows while we were down there. And like, there was one day where I played for 30 people in a room, and it was all generals within the United States Army. And they were some of the highest ranking people I've ever met in my life. And then 2 hours later, I'm playing for 20,000 people in this square in Saint Mary Glisse in France. And I was like, what is good? Like, it was so crazy, but it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life, man. It was unreal. And it was just this pure, like appreciation for America and what these guys did. And you felt that all throughout the country of France in that moment. And it was crazy, man. It was truly one of the most remarkable things I've ever experienced. And yeah, the really cool part is, like, so we played so many shows in places that just are insane. We played one of the first things we did is we played a show in St. Mary Glisse, basically on the steps of the mayor's office, and there were hundreds of people there. And while we were playing, there was like 200 kids that were behind us. And at one point in time, they played our national anthem, the American national anthem, and these 200 French kids were singing our national anthem. And
Wow.
it was so cool, man. It was so cool to see just like the appreciation and how it gets passed down from generation to generation. Like you could truly see that there is a generational appreciation and it gets passed down and it's taught. Like I was talking to some of the teachers that are there that were teaching these kids, and they talked about, you know, the Americans and how if that day wouldn't have had, or if they wouldn't have been there to liberate that area, like how it would have been different and stuff. And they truly go into all of that, which is so incredible, man. And it was a life-changing experience. It truly was.
And you know, that generation is dwindling down, man. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of them left. So I thought it was amazing, bro, that you actually got to talk to guys that touch foot and were in theater. Yeah,
it was amazing, man. There was one veteran there that I connected with the most. His name was Dennis Bolt, and it was his first time back in Normandy since 1944 when he stormed Utah.
Oh my gosh.
And so he came in on Utah, and we you know, me and him just connected, man. It was funny. The first time I went to meet him, like, all these people knew who I was. They knew that I was a recording artist, that I was a veteran, blah, blah, blah. So they just like introduced me. They're like, hey, this is Scotty Hasting. Like, you know, but and they didn't really tell Dennis who I was. They just said, this is Scotty Hasting. Like, you know, he decided to come out here for just a second and be able to say hi and stuff. And I shook Dennis's hand. And he's like, all right, well, who are you? And I was like, I like this guy. I like it. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. Me and this guy are going to be friends. But yeah, man. And then that's when I went into it. Like, you know, I was with the 1st Infantry Division. I was in Afghanistan. I was shot. I was like, but now I'm a recording artist. And, and then we just kind of bonded over the 1st Infantry Division and over being in the military and music. And it was so incredible, to the point of where there were points, you know, when I went there, I wanted to make sure that my team understood that we were there for them. Right. Like,
right.
If the veterans wanted me or us somewhere, it didn't matter what we were doing in that moment. We left and we went to be with them, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. This is about them. Right. And they all understood that. And so there was one moment when we were at a museum. It was some exhibition or some exhibit within the museum that was opening, and they wanted us to be there. And so we were there, and we were walking through the exhibit, and it was really cool, and it was amazing. And they were talking about the history, and we got a text saying, hey, Dennis was asking about Scotty. And I was like, listen, let's get the hell out of here. Like, let's go. Like, that's what matters, man. He wants us around. Like, let's go be with him. Like, that's what we're here for. Because those guys, like, it was so cool to see, like, those guys were rock stars, man. Like, man, when they were there, I mean, they were everywhere they went, man. It was like a parade. Like, they were truly rock stars. It was amazing, dude. And every single one of them that I met were like just in the greatest spirits ever. Like, they were on cloud 9, man. And Dennis was the one that I was able to truly connect with. And yeah, as soon as we got the text that Dennis wanted me around, I was like, listen, let's get the hell out of here, man. Let's go.
Nice.
So it was funny. We went, and there's a video of it and picture of it that, you know, it wasn't supposed to happen because it was never planned. It was just Dennis was asking about me, and we went. And when I got there, I was like, hey, Dennis, man, I heard you were asking about me. I figured I'd stop in and say, hey. And he's like, oh, Scotty, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, are you going to sing for me? And I was like, well, I'll sing for you, man. You want me to sing? I'll sing us a couple songs. Let's do that. And he said, well, I got new batteries in my hearing aids, and I got them turned up. So let's go. And I was like, all right, man, hell yeah, let's go.
Love it, man.
It was so cool, man. And it was so much fun. And yeah, he lives in Minnesota. So we're trying to work out a show in Minnesota so that we can grab him up and put him on stage with me.
That's amazing, bro. And, you know, that just goes to show you, right? Like, there could be generations well between us in terms of the veteran world, but we can sit down and no matter what generation we're from, we can have a relationship and have so much in common with each other, right?
100%.
And we're able to bond like no other. No matter, you know, you put us with some veteran, no matter what the generation is, we're gonna have some great, that I love that you were able to bond so much with them.
Yeah.
Now, where do you feel like, was it a kind of an emotional thing for them at first? Was it kind of weird for them? I mean,
Yeah.
the
Well, I
last time
noticed,
they were there, it was, a shit show, obviously. I mean, so
yeah, I mean, you kind of go into it with this understanding that it's going to be this emotional moment, right? That
sure, right.
there's going to be times where the emotions are just kind of overflowing. And yes, you get that a little bit, but I think it's more than anything like these veterans are just so happy to feel like what they did meant something.
And it's great that they get to see it, right?
And
And
they
like you
get to see
said,
it
yeah,
firsthand. And the crazy part is I was thinking about this and I was talking about this with my team a little bit was what happened there, what is happening, what we experienced, I don't ever see happening for Afghanistan or Iraq.
right.
Like there's never going to be a time when us veterans who are in Iraq or Afghanistan are welcomed with open arms back into Iraq or Afghanistan. This is the only I wanted to reiterate, like this is the only time that you're truly going
That's
to
a good
see
point.
this type of appreciation because we truly we saved that country. Like we said, these guys saved the world. I mean, these guys are superheroes, man. And like they're the last of the superheroes,
Right.
and it was like, just understand like this will never happen anywhere else. Like this is the way that this is where like we have to appreciate the moment that we're in because no other war will ever get the recognition that this one did in this sense. And it was so incredible, man. And there were moments that were like super moving, man, especially with Dennis because it was his first time back since 1944. And it was like everything, like you could just see it, man. That guy would just start tearing up like at a moment's notice, man. And it was like, you could just see like that he was like, that was something that he talked about was just this overwhelming sense of what they did mattered, and what they did, like he's seeing firsthand and interacting with the people that are, the offspring of what he did, and it was really cool. And one of the coolest experiences for me was we went to Utah Beach, and I walked to Utah Beach, and number one, the videos, the movies, all that stuff, like it will never truly show how far of a distance it is from the water to where like they would be safe, like to the end of the beach. It's easily a quarter mile. It is freaking far, man. It took me 5-6 minutes to walk to the water.
I watched.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I got there and I was like I was just like overwhelmed with this idea of like, dude, that's so far. Like I have to walk out to the water. I have to walk out there and just look back and see what they would have seen. And well, in so many ways, so you get to the water and you turn around because low tide was the only time they could have came up because of all the stuff that was on the beach. And it was
the
low
coral
tide
and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have it like you turn around and you look forward and you see like, you think about those giant like X things, whatever those things are that were all on the beach.
Right.
There were landmines all on the beach. There were, bodies all on the beach. Like all of these different things they're having to avoid and jump over and run over and crawl through. And it was insane, man. And then I've never felt as small as I did in the moment when I was standing at that water and looking at the beach and thinking about all of the like just the sheer terror in that moment. And then like it's crazy, like we started walking back and like I started really looking around and there were like kids playing on the beach, man. And it was like man, 80 years ago this like there were
was a bloodbath.
bodies on the
Right.
beach. And now there's kids playing in these little water pools over here, and everyone's laughing and having a good time. And it's like, that's what they did. Like, that's why they did it. These little dudes playing on the beach over here, throwing sand at each other. That's why they did it. So that they can live
That's
in
beautiful.
this
Yeah.
moment and play in this water. And it was just, man, it was so surreal. There were so many moments where like you really like step back and you're like, holy crap, you know. And that one was the one that hit me the hardest, I think, was when I was on Utah Beach, and I was like, oh my God. Like, it was insane, man. And but yeah, and then there was and then like we were in like homes. Let's be real, they're freaking castles, man. Like where we were at were castles. They were crazy.
The
And these buildings,
architecture over there is amazing.
dude, in these buildings that we were in, that we were able to like go and see and be a part of, like the events that were there, these buildings were older than our country. It was like, what the heck, dude? Like this building has been here since before we were even a country. Like,
Right.
that's crazy to think.
That is. And still standing.
Oh my God, yeah. And like there were parts of it that you know, it was really the history within these buildings were incredible, because there were some of them that were German occupied headquarters, and then they were taken back they were taken back by the US. And there was one that we were at where Dennis was staying, and where some of the Band of Brothers cast members were staying and stuff like that. That there were bullet holes in the walls and in some of the doors and stuff, and they just kept it there because they were like, we can't get rid of
Part
the
of history
that is this building. And it was so cool, man. And there were different things, like just the history is so unbelievable. And yeah, and I got to play. We did an interview with Dennis and Rita. Don't remember her last name. Rita something. Ali will help us with that. But it was me and Dennis and her in this room, in this house that was at one point in time occupied by the Germans as one of their headquarters buildings. And this was in a small room off to the side. And we did the interview, and I sang a couple songs for Dennis. And one was Red, White, and Blue, which is out right now. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it by now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is an amazing song. And
all
one
of
of the
songs are amazing, brother.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And but then the other one was Till the Last Shot's Fired, which is a song that we're going to be releasing later this year. And in that song, it talks about being on the beach in 44. And in that moment when I was singing that song, I was looking at Dennis the whole time. And when I started talking about, or when that part came up in the song about being on the beach in 44, it was the first time I've ever seen someone's eyes glaze over, and he just was transported into another world in that moment. And I've never seen that before. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And you could just see that he was there again. And man, there was not a dry eye in that room that day. And mainly because of Dennis, this asshole, when we got done, was like they, you know, in that song, it talks about saying a prayer for peace and, you know, trying, you know, and the soldier not finding peace until the last shot's fired. And I got done singing it, and Dennis said, they found peace. We found peace, as he's crying uncontrollably. And it was like he reached into my freaking chest and squeezed my heart. And I said, Dennis, you stop it. You stop it right now. Like, don't you dare. Don't you get me going. But yeah, man, it was really incredible to be around Dennis. You know, it was incredible to be in the moment where we were for the 80th anniversary. But it was really incredible to be around Dennis, who was experiencing all of this for the first time since he'd been back. Like, this guy had lived through the worst time in our world's history, one of the worst times in our world's history. And now he's back, and where he lived in hell for so long, being over there, was now like this place that loved him without even really knowing who he was. They loved him, and they welcomed him with arms wide open. And he was, you know, to them, he's a superhero. And And it was just so incredible to see like all of that happen for him in that moment, and to see all of the appreciation, and to see like him, and just see how his reactions to everything. It was incredible.
Dude, it has got to be probably one of the most unique situations, right? I mean, I don't think people could put this in perspective. It is not often that people go back to a place that they were fighting at, right? And while you're in those countries, it is, you're on high alert. You're not there. It's not peacetime. It's not chill.
Yep.
You know, and so for him to go back to a place that for him was a nightmare, that caused nightmares for him, I imagine, for years and years and years.
I'm sure.
And you know, I mean, I'm sure they lost more than a handful of buddies, right? I mean, America took a big loss, you know, on D-Day. You know, we lost a lot of people in general that day. It wasn't just Americans, it was, you know, all over the place. So what a unique situation, bro, that you got to even be a part of it too. And
it was incredible. And the craziest part was I was the only American artist that was asked to come play music over there, which was wild.
That's amazing. That's got to be a compliment within itself.
It was crazy because someone put my name in for the board that was making the selection for who would come over and play. Because originally they wanted a really big artist, they wanted a big name, and someone was like, "Well, he's still up and coming, but here's his story." And they kind of presented me, and after they told my story about you know, getting shot and being in Afghanistan, they immediately were like, "Yeah, that's our guy. Like, he has to be here. He has to play." Like, a veteran who wants to celebrate another generation of veterans, he has to be there. So it was amazing, and honestly, it was an opportunity that if I didn't have the story that I have, probably wouldn't have happened. And it was incredible. And like I said, it was life-changing, and it was one of the greatest things I've ever been able to be a part of.
Dude, I mean, I was watching the videos of probably most of it. I you know, probably all of them, but I was just in ooh and ah because I had already seen Dennis on other like podcasts or interviews before telling his story. So then when I saw you hanging out, I was like, this guy, man, hell yeah. And then you're walking on the damn beach, bro. I'm like,
oh, wow. Well, you know what's crazy is before we left, I saw a video with the Walk Among Hero guys without even knowing that we would be intertwined within the Walk Among Hero guys. I saw a video that they did where Dennis it was his initial reception into Normandy since 1944. And I looked at my team and I was like, man, I want to meet that guy. And sure as shit, the very first veteran and the one that I got closest with was that guy that was in that video. And it was so incredible, man. And it was so cool. And we got to be around the Walk Among Hero guys a lot. And it was incredible. And they are such a wealth of knowledge, man, about Normandy and about what happened. There's a guy, Colonel Nightingale, that was out there who it basically became his life's work to go to Normandy and meet all of these veterans and ask, and take them to battlefields that they were at so that they can explain everything and he can learn more. He was kind of like, the historian, like he knew everything and anything that happened there because he talked to the guys every time they came. And it was incredible, man. It was truly incredible to hear the stories. And Colonel Nightingale himself is kind of a badass. Like if you ever look him up, like Special Force XSF, like dude's insane. But yeah, and it, like I said, it became his like life work to understand the history and battles and movements and who went here, how they went there, and it was incredible, man. Did Brian freeze?
All right, we're back, and of course, there's always some kind of technical difficulty. So there we had, and Scotty was talking to himself. I'm sure he did a great job.
Yeah, I did. I even took over hosting for a little bit. I said,
Hey,
well,
perfect, bro. You know,
I welcome to Everyday Saturday. I'm the new host of Everyday Saturday.
now I got a fill in. So, oh shoot, Allie, you're gonna have to pimp him out a little bit more now.
There we go. But yeah, man, it was, Normandy was insane. It truly was, and it'll be a core memory forever, honestly.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, and it's like I said, it's not much of an opportunity where people get to go back to where they once fought, but I mean, to be even anybody to go back and check some of these places out that are so historic. And you know what's kind of amazing about that is you got to go watch someone else who appreciates us to the point that they know our national anthem and stuff like that. That's pretty big, right? I mean, here in our own country, we have people that don't even respect it, right? So I mean, that's just amazing to go over to a different country where they really appreciate everything that America did for their country. And like I said, for those guys to go and do a full circle for that, I gotta imagine it had to help their mental state in a lot of different ways, right? Because here they are, they lost brothers and people that were probably really close to them, and maybe not either way. They saw some very horrible things, but they can at least go and see the finished product of it, right? And say, hey guys, it wasn't in vain, man. Now these kids or whoever, there's generations upon generations that get to make core memories now because of the sacrifice
100%
they made.
100%, man. And that's truly one of the most beautiful things about having that anniversary, that celebration of them every year, is the fact that they get to come. I mean, like a lot of them came back and they went back to work and they built families and they took care of their families and they struggled the whole time. And then, and then you get them there and they see that all of what they did and all of the nightmares and the demons that they dealt with their whole life, that it was all worth something. And that's truly like one of the greatest things that you can give a soldier, right? Is to the understanding that what you did meant something to somebody. That's I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles that we as soldiers face, is that we went and did awful things that we think are awful and that we struggle with, and all the demons that we deal with on a daily basis. And a lot of times we feel like we didn't do it for anything, right? A lot of times you get stuck with this idea of thinking that that it was all for nothing, especially like Iraq and Afghanistan guys, man. I mean, it was, with the way that Afghanistan was handled, and it was just kind of all given back. For me, it made me feel like my blood and me almost dying and my best friends, some of the greatest people I've ever known, dying didn't mean anything. And I know a lot of Iraq guys that feel the same way. And so if you can give someone who has had to do things that they struggle with every day, if you can give them that sense of, hey, what you did mattered, what you did, and they can see it firsthand, man, like that is one of the most powerful things that you can do.
100%, bro. I couldn't imagine how good it was for, like I said, for their psyche. And I probably wish they probably wish they would have probably went over there sooner. I know
Dennis said it a couple times.
Yeah, I imagine he was always afraid of the unknown of going over there. Like, the last time I was there, it was not great, right? So why do I want to go back to something like that?
Yeah, Dennis said it multiple times that he wished he would have came back sooner and been able to be there for more. And the craziest part is, like, I'm so glad that I got to be there for the 80th, because the youngest person that was there was 97. The youngest veteran there was 97. So
how old is Dennis?
Dennis was 99. And he was still moving better
he was
than
about
I
like 19 years old when he was over here faith, all this stuff, man.
It's crazy. And there was one guy that was 107 there, and he looked better than I do on a good day.
These guys,
I'm
look at these guys,
36,
and,
I'm like,
and they've been through absolute.
It's just
like
crazy, man. They built them different back then.
They really did. They really did.
And it was incredible, man. But yeah, Dennis said it multiple times. Man, I wish I would have came back. But I'm glad that I was able to be there, because there's a good chance there's not going to be an 85th with all the veterans. There's definitely a great chance that there's not going to be a 90th with all the veterans there. So I'm glad that I got to be there for the 80th, because
dude, amazing in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I want to go back every year.
Yeah, no kidding, bro. I mean,
yeah,
man, I would have took a little glass thing and put some sand up in that son of a gun.
Yeah.
Dude,
next time I go, we're already talking about next year, about possibly going back next year.
That's amazing.
About going back and playing the show in St. Mary Glees. This last time I only got to play 2 songs. Next year we're talking about possibly doing a 30-minute to an hour long set. But yeah, there's we're working on some stuff.
That's great, dude. Now this is we've talked a lot about that, because I'll tell you what, that actually really intrigued me, bro. And I really want to hear I lived through you a little bit on it. You know what I mean? Not a big chance that I get to go there, but
we lost him again. One thing that I noticed in that little video that he showed is how much my guitar collection has grown since then. And I have since realized that I have a problem, and that I spend money on guitars for no reason, because I have a bunch over here. And this is only down here. I have more upstairs.
Oh, this is fun.
Yes.
Fun, the rolling blackouts or whatever.
There we go. We back.
Back
I was talking to myself for a little bit, and I was talking about one thing I noticed about the video that you showed is how much my guitar collection has grown, and now I have since realized that I have a problem.
Bro, yeah, because dude, now look at that rack.
I know, and this is just down here. I have more upstairs as well, so I have realized now that I have a problem. So thank you so much for that.
Well, hey man, I'm glad you were able to carry on.
Yeah,
hopefully this doesn't happen anymore. Man. If it does, just keep carrying on, bro. Because
yeah, man, I
eventually should probably ask you all the questions I want answered, and then
there we go. You just ask the questions, and then I'll answer them as you get kicked out. Perfect.
No, but what I was getting ready to ask you is, so you got to go on like talk shows, dude. Like I seen you like been on what is it, Today on LA or not? No, not Today on LA.
Oh, Good Morning America.
Good Morning America. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, like that's pretty cool. I mean,
that was crazy. So that was like a random thing that happened through Good Morning America. They were like, we want Scotty to be there for, I don't know how it came about, but they were like, we want Scotty to be there for, the grand opening of Friends in Low Places, Garth's place. And I was like, cool. Like, yeah, I'll go. I've never been to a taping of Good Morning America. Little did I know that I would be put in the front and that I would get to talk to Garth Brooks himself, who is, my reason for wanting to play country music. So the craziest part about, well, there were a couple of different crazy parts about that, but one of the coolest parts was when I met Garth, I was like, I'm a huge fan. Like, your music is like the foundation of my childhood. Like I listened to your music over and over again growing up. Like you are what made me fall in love with country music. And he's like, man, I really appreciate that. And I was like, my name's Scotty Hasting. And he's like, man, it's great to meet you. And he said, hold on, Scotty Hasting, like I'm America's Scotty Hasting. And I said, shut the fuck up. Like what?
No.
You did not just ask about my song. Like, yeah, man, that's my song. That whole, holy shit.
You turned into a high school girl there. Like,
I was like, you shut your mouth.
Yeah. Shut your mouth.
You shut it. What? But yeah, I was like, yeah, man, that's my song. Like, that's me. He's like, man, I love that song.
That's crazy.
And I was like, thanks, man. Like, what just happened? Like, he walked away and I was like, what just happened? I'm like, what the hell was that? And then during the Good Morning America segment, they were like, you can ask Garth one question over while you're on the air. Like, I had to send in the questions. I had a bunch of different questions. One of them involved Chris Gaines. It was hilarious. And they're like, no, we can't do that. And I was like, why? That would be funny. That would be such a funny question. Anyways,
didn't find it funny.
oh man, it would have been funny. But they're like, ask that question that you wanted to ask, and they were like, there's going to be a point in the segment where Hoda will look at you and you'd be like, but I heard that you had a question for Garth, and basically my question was, if you could go back in time before becoming Garth Brooks, what is one thing that you would tell yourself as the person who is possibly looking into getting into music or not, and what is one thing that you would tell younger Garth Brooks? And his was basically like, hey, you're not that good at sports, stop doing it and focus on music, basically is what he said. And Hoda, like, kind of, she teed it up perfectly, man, because she was like, and you're right, you're a musician as well, correct? And I was like, yeah, and she kind of was like, what would you say to yourself? And I was like, I was kind of in the same boat. Somehow it happened where I was like, he wanted to be a professional sports player. I think he like threw javelin or something. He wanted to be a professional sports player of some type. And, I was kind of in the same boat. I joined the military and I wanted to be in the military forever. And God had another plan, and I got shot 10 times, and now I'm an artist and blah, blah, blah. And everyone started clapping and stuff. And Garth was like, yeah, and he can sing his ass off. And I said, did anyone else just hear that? Like, was that just me thinking he said some shit? Like, did anyone else hear that? It was like, in that moment, my soul left my body, and then it came back, and I was like, did Garth Brooks not just say that I sang my ass off? Like, did I just hear that? Like, but yeah, so it has since become like a little snapshot video that I have that we, like, our audio and video and picture guy was like, you know what? We're going to just throw that into shit now. Just be like, Garth Brooks says I can sing my ass off. Like, or just like a little clip, just a little snippet of Garth Brooks saying, yeah, and he can sing his ass off. Oh, man, dude, that was wild. And that was on national TV.
When you get his seal of approval, bro, it's that's big time. That's big time.
Yeah, man, it was
especially
crazy.
In the country industry.
That was such a cool, like, a cool time where I got to, like, really, like, because you hear stories about Garth Brooks and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then you actually meet him and it's like, yeah, like, he's a great freaking dude. But he's so funny because he's like everybody's uncle, man. Like, you wouldn't, he doesn't look like what you would expect is like a superstar,
Right.
Like, he just looks like your uncle that you see at family reunions every once in a while, like, and yeah, he's just a great dude, man. And it was really cool to be able to meet him and talk with him. And that was really badass.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I imagine for you, a lot of this almost seems like you're in a dream, kind of, right? Because I mean,
for real, there are so many moments when I'm like, how am I here? Like, what is happening? Like, Normandy was one for sure. In front of 20,000, a sea of people on a stage in a different country. And I'm like, what am I doing here? There's so many things. I played the Bridgestone Arena for a Nashville Predators game because they have a stage up there. So 17,000 people in Bridgestone Arena. And I think I even said it on the mic, like, I have to take a second. Like, I've never thought in a million years I'd be in a room this big. Like, I never thought in a million years I'd be in an arena. I never thought in a million years I'd be in front of people, this many people. And I'm here. So I just want to take a second. And, everyone was clapping and stuff. But, man, it was just like, there's so many moments where I'm like, how did that
You got to pinch yourself, I'm sure. Like,
yeah, it's unbelievable, man. And it's just like, man, I'm just a guy that got shot a bunch of times that likes to make music. Like, how how does this happen? Like, how am I here? Like, I have since become friends with artists that like I've listened to my whole life that I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, Lee Bryce is a good friend of mine and I've loved his music forever. And I'm like, how the hell am I friends with him? And like the guys with Parmalee, again, great dudes, amazing guys. Like, it's just, I wrote a song not too long ago with James Otto. I'm like, dude, what is my life, man? What are we doing?
That's amazing.
It's just, it's so crazy, man. It really is. And I will have to say that the country music artists that I've met that are they've all been incredible people, man, just great people. And you know, they just talk to you like you're normal, man. And these are people that I've listened to forever, you know, that I've heard on the radio and that I've listened to all their music and I've seen their music videos and stuff. And then you meet them in person and they're just great people, man. And it's like, what the hell? Like this, it just makes you feel good, you know? But yeah, and now I have, you know, a song with some legends that's coming out. And it's
before you know it, bro, you're going to be that guy that I always grew up listening to Scotty Hasting.
Like,
you know what I mean? It's amazing how it goes full circle in a way, dude. And a lot of it is due to you, though. Like, I mean, you're a workhorse, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and whether, you know, the stuff that you've been through pushed you to be a workhorse and really want to direct your mind into other things. And that's why you've become who you are, bro. I mean, you know, I know that you have a great team around you as well, but you know, you're being sought out now and stuff. And that's because, dude,
I have learned
so hard.
Yeah. You know, I think it was a lot of it, you know, the military basically teaches you that you have to outwork everybody else. But I learned very quickly that in Nashville, it is so much more important for you to work harder than anybody else. Because in Nashville, there are thousands of people who are always going to be more talented than you. Always. There will always be people who are more talented than you. You have to be willing to outwork those people. And the moment that you take a step away and you take, you know, a week off, a month off, a year off, for that month, for a year, the people who are more talented than you have been working a little bit harder than you have. And they're definitely going to pass you by very quickly in a hurry. There's thousands of people here in Nashville that are always trying to make a name for themselves, and they are incredible artists. And the only thing that can set you apart from them is your work ethic. And people don't really understand how important a work ethic is in this industry until you truly get in this industry and start talking to some industry professionals like record executives and stuff like that. And they start talking about how incredibly important a work ethic is. You know, you can be great, but you still have to put in the time. You still have to put in the work. You can be one of the greatest singers in the world, but you still have to go talk to a vocal coach so that you can make sure that everything stays healthy and is what it needs to be all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's working your ass off is one of the most important things you can do for this industry.
Yeah. And, you know, that's good advice for anybody out there that wants, wants to go be a music pop star or country star. It really comes, it comes down to, like you said, outworking, outperforming. That even goes for sports, right?
Yeah.
And anything you really want to do, and if you want to get better at it, you just got to keep putting in the work and the time. 100%. Some of these studios, dude, are open 24/7, right? Like they don't got hours of operation in there. It's, hey, we're going to be recording from 5 to 5, and be ready.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of work, and it's not just, working like recording, and it's not just working like going and performing, but it's working like make it like networking, talking to people,
right,
building relationships in this city, in this town is one of the most important things you can do. And I think it's one of the most overlooked things that you can do, because in this town, Nashville, is all about who you know. You have to be talented. You have to be willing to work your ass off, but you have to know the right people as well. And everyone here in Nashville is very small. And I mean that like Nashville, the city is huge. Absolutely.
Sure.
But Nashville, the industry is very small. Everyone talks to everybody else. So if you meet somebody and you talk to them and you put off a good impression, then they will talk down the road. If you're an ass, that'll spread very quickly. And there have been some amazing artists that are no longer artists because of the fact that they just aren't
problems.
People. Yeah. And yeah, man, I think, and that goes like, that's part of the work. You have to be willing to network. You have to be willing to put in the time. If you want to play guitar, pick your damn guitar up and practice. Like you have to put in the time. If you want to be a singer, get your ass up and start singing and practicing on your vocals, practicing on your vocal, your vocal stretches, your routine to start stretching. Like, you don't realize how much singing you actually do until you really get into it. Like, I'll be in the studio one day and then the next day I'm playing a show and then I'm back in the studio, and like studios are 6 hours, sometimes 5-6 hours. I mean, it's a lot of work, man. And it's you really have to love doing this, because it will run you down, man, if you don't. I think that for every artist, for everyone who wants to get into music, I think one of the most important things that you can do is have a purpose for what you want to do, because your purpose is going to keep you pushing and keep you moving forward no matter what. And I think that really is, important in life, period. Have a purpose for what you're doing and why you're doing it. And that purpose will truly move you forward and keep you going. But
that's bro. I mean, let's go ahead and pull up your website. I don't know if this is probably going to be the best place to find your stuff, but I mean,
my website is it's
legit. All right, so we'll go ahead and share that out so we can get people to check it out. We'll go over and
hey, there we go.
Look at that guy.
That
debut. I'm America. It's a good one.
Man, that EP was fun. With that EP, we wanted to basically set the precedent of people knowing who I am. And that EP was really our first initial jump into, hey, with these songs, you're going to know who I am and what I stand for. And I think we did a great job with it.
Yeah, bro. Man, the stuff you're coming out with are instant hits. I love it myself.
Well, thank you.
And I've always been a big fan of yours, bro. I don't think there's a song out there that you got that I'm like, oh,
man. Well, I appreciate you.
But
well, thank you.
No, you're doing amazing out there, bro. And I always, had, like I said, a thought in my head when I heard you earlier on, because how I initially got to even hear about you was once Gunroom Radio, now it's Veteran Voices Radio. Yeah. And I was DJing over there, and that's exactly kind of how I started getting to hear more of you in different songs, and I was just like, man, this guy, I can't believe he's not a chart stopper now. You know what I mean?
No,
so
I appreciate that.
It's great to see you out here doing what you're doing. Now, is this, like I said, one of the best places to go? Like, at least,
yeah. So if you go to tour,
you could go to Instagram, you could go to Facebook.
Yeah. From here, if you go down, it'll show you where you can click like Instagram and all that stuff. But also, if you go up to tour, it'll show you where I'm playing, when I'm playing, stuff like that.
The Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, making my Grand Ole Opry debut, which is wild.
Dude, you know what? We just had Sal Gonzalez on.
Sal just did it as well.
He just got to go. I was so happy for him too.
Yeah.
You, bro, look at this.
Yeah. Gary Sinise called me and he was like, hey.
I heard, dude, and I heard that too, man.
Yeah, which is crazy. Also, I have Gary Sinise's phone number, which is wild. Remember when we talked about how I was at Walter Reed and I wanted to meet Gary Sinise?
Yes.
So yeah, a couple days ago, I actually went to his foundation and hung out with him and met him and talked to him for a while. We didn't take any pictures or anything. I just wanted it to be me and him and just kind of enjoy and be in the moment. But yeah, it's crazy full circle that like now he's like, hey, come play some songs at the Grand Ole Opry with me. Like, what? So I'm playing 3 songs. Of course, since it is the 30th anniversary of Forrest Gump, every artist that plays that day had to pick a song off of the soundtrack of Forrest Gump.
Okay.
So I'm doing Fortunate Son, How Do You Choose, and then I'm gonna do I'm America, and it's gonna be incredible.
That is awesome, dude.
But yeah, and then another one is in September 21st. I'm opening for Craig Morgan, which is crazy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
I just opened for Chris Lane like a month ago. It was, or not even a month ago, a couple weeks ago. It was amazing. And we're also looking at a possibility of opening for Lee Brice later this year. I mean, there's so much happening. And next year we already have crazy plans and some things that are lining up that are just out of this world.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, it's only gonna get better for you. You know what I mean? Because I already know how much I've followed you for a long time. Like I said, I know you did TikToks and coffee shops, bro. You really put in the work in the elbow grease. So I mean, this is what the payout's being for yourself, man. You know, a lot of that dedication and commitment and giving other things up to primarily focus on
for sure
what you really had a itching to do. And man, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, bro. I mean, I'm excited that I get to watch you again here at Hero Stock with the full band. It's gonna be exciting. I love hanging out with you. It's always good.
Yes.
And this fool can eat like no other.
Heck yeah, man. Absolutely. Listen, I love if there's one thing that anyone and everyone needs to know about me is that I love food. Man.
Yeah, buddy.
You
buy him a burger or two, he'll be your best of friend.
I'll put down some food. Absolutely.
So hey man, what kind of other things do we got to look forward for Scotty? I mean, is there anything that you can share that's up and coming?
Yeah. So we're working on some new music right now. Working on another EP. We're working on putting out a song later this year. And yeah, just a bunch of dates coming up that I'm going to be playing. And next year is going to be insane. There's only so much I can say about it, but it's going to be crazy.
You already are a busy dude, right? I mean, it's crazy because I mean, the last time when I actually got you on my show, it was texting and messaging. Now, now you got a whole people that work for you now, and you got to go through people. It's man.
It's so weird, and they don't tell you like when you're getting into it. They don't tell you that like, hey, you need this person, and you need this person, and you need this person, and you need this person. Like I just signed with a business management, which I never thought was. I didn't realize that was something I needed to do. Apparently, it is. It definitely is because they have made my life so much easier. Having a manager. We're still looking for an agent, a booking agent. So for anyone. But there's just so much and so many people and teams that go into this, and it's insane. And I'm lucky that I have an incredible team in Black River at the label and in my management team and all of my management teams. And it's just I'm incredibly blessed to be around amazing people who want me to succeed and want to try their best to help me succeed. And yeah, man, it's been incredible. And it's really cool to be around so many people that have experience in this industry. So I can learn. I've learned so much, man, about how everything works, not just, the singing part of it or the playing part of it, but how, the business works. And it's incredible, man. It really is. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, way more serious stuff, like your music videos.
Yeah.
Everything is way
Mhm.
more, production.
100%.
So I mean, I imagine that's how to get used to it. Like cut,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still remember I'm America was the first song that we did that had like a full like crew and like giant production thing. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. But yeah, but it's really cool because you get to take 3 people, 4 people, whatever, that have this idea in their head and can help make it come to life, and the best way to make it come to life. And it's amazing because I have people who do my music videos that are a hell of a lot more creative than I am, and so they're geniuses, man. And really, I think Whiskey in the Bottle, that music video really showed like the genius of what is the team that we have. And if you notice, so Adam Hamilton was my best friend that was killed in Afghanistan. If you notice, there's little things in each of my music videos now that bring awareness to him a little bit. So yeah,
that's great, bro. You
yeah,
found a way to kind of keep him living on. You know what I
100%,
mean?
100%. Like Whiskey in
And
the Bottle, the bar is called Ham's Place. And you see,
nice.
there's even a sign when everyone's walking in the door, above the door, that says Ham's Place on it. So
I
yeah,
love
it's
that, bro.
amazing.
Because
It's amazing.
that's what you found a great way to keep one of our brothers alive, right, and
100%.
keep their name out there, and they still get to live through us in a
Yes.
way, and that's great, bro. I love
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, man, I'm a big fan, bro, and
Thank you.
I love seeing these great stories where you could be in a different storyline.
Yeah.
You could have really felt sorry for yourself. You could end
Mhm.
up turning into drugs and alcohol and
Yeah.
addiction and all those types of things where a lot of our brothers and sisters find themselves.
Yeah.
Instead, you've taken your energy, man, and now you're making music, and it's something that I think that our community needs, right? Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people out there that sing about what the veteran community can
Yeah.
relate to,
Yeah.
right? There's not a lot of mainstream type of songs out there. You know,
100%.
you get a couple here and there, but to have someone who can articulate and tell the story and then make it relatable for the
Yeah.
listener, that's a whole other different ball game,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. 100%, man. And there's, for like you said earlier, I was there, man. I was in that moment where I felt sorry for myself for a long time, and I just didn't want to do anything. I was super depressed, and I still struggle with depression from time to time. And
Sure.
of course, PTSD, anxiety, all that shit, it never goes away. But for me, I made a conscious decision that I was going to live every day to the fullest, as full as I can, for my brothers that didn't. I didn't want their sacrifice to go in vain.
Right.
I mean, they put their life on the line for us, for me, and I want to make sure that I live my life to the fullest for them. And also, it was, yeah, man. So I don't ever want, I don't ever want people to think that I don't struggle, because I do still
No,
on a daily
100%.
basis. And,
Yep.
I was just able to find an incredible outlet for myself. And I think that that's so important for all of us veterans who deal with shit. I think it's so important for us to find an outlet, find something we love to do, and do it all the time, man. And yeah, so one of the coolest things about when I was over in France was, I kept having all these active duty soldiers and all these veterans telling me that it's so cool to see one of them up there. And I was like, man, like, yes, that just showed me that it's important to keep doing what we're doing, because what we're doing matters, and it matters to veterans and to service members, and to first responders, really, as well, that I'm up there doing something that we never thought possible. Shit, I never thought possible. And it just kind of goes to show like what we can do if we really try and we really put our minds to it, and that you can still struggle and be successful, and that there is life after going to war and after being in the military and after, you know, giving half of your life to the military and now not really sure what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. Like you'll find it. I mean, if I was able to find it, if I'm able to be up on stage, if I'm able to find it, damn near anybody can find it. Okay. Because I was a lost cause there for a while. And yeah, man, I think, like I said, it's important to find something that you love to do and do it all the time.
Yeah, it is important. And I think that, you know, in the veteran community, that's a thing too, right? That once time in service is over and everybody goes back home, they kind of lose themselves for a little bit, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And the main focus, I think, you know, at the end of the day too, is we got to keep carrying on for the ones that can't carry on anymore, right?
Yep.
And we got to keep pushing on. And I think that a lot of our fallen brothers and sisters would want us to be as badass as we could.
100%.
Right.
100%. And I mean, and you also, my thought was always, man, like, like, you know, I get down and I get depressed and I'm like, man, like, damn, I can't believe that didn't work out. And then I think like, damn, like I bet you Ham would love to have this issue.
Right.
You know, like I bet you Fant, my other really good friend that got killed, I bet you he would love to have this issue. Like, imagine being upset about something so small when you could not be here at all.
Gosh, yeah.
Like,
and that's
even the hard stuff is sometimes it's good to have because you get to realize that you get to have it. Like we've seen enough of people who will never experience certain things, and we get to experience even the bad things.
Yeah, that's 100%, bro. I mean, a lot of times I don't think we think like that, right? Like, you know, we're so caught up in ourselves or whatever that we forget to think that there's people out there that sacrificed it all and only wish that they had some of the problems that we had, you know, versus, you know, not being here. So I appreciate you, bro, though. You know, you're able to find a way into the mainstream media. I mean, the mainstream media in the mainstream industry with it all, and still articulate your stories and have it relatable to the veteran community, which, you know, you're near and dear to. You know, and like I said, we need that patriotic type of stuff too, right? We need people to be happy to be American
100%.
and appreciate that, man. And that's what I feel like your songs are for, bro. Is you know, we're proud to be American, you know, proud for red, white, and blue. I mean, just your music is what this country needs right now. Right. Is to bring ourselves together and at the end of the day, let's care for one another. Let's stop tearing each other down.
100%. And moving forward, I mean, my teams in Black River are incredibly supportive in the sense that like everything that I put out is going to be a part of me in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's some fun, like drinking beer song, it's going to have something to do with me. You know, at the end of the day, the veteran community isn't just, you know, red, white, and blue. It's not just, you know, it's not just the veteran specific songs. There's a song that we're working on about drinking beer and just having a good time. Like that shit happens all the time. Like shit. Like, you know, and I think it's so important.
Good American fun right there.
100%, man. And, you know, and I think it's, you know, next year moving forward, I'm going to be taking some giant leaps into the next phase of what this looks like. And, you know, still staying and always staying true to who I am. You know, but just having fun with it, man. You know, and we'll do some very specific veteran stuff, and then we'll do some stuff that's just my life and so many other people's lives, and You know, I will always do some stuff that matters to me, that touches me in some way, shape, or form, and that is a part of me in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah,
That's the great part, man. It's, and you know, like I said, it's relatable.
yeah,
You know, and the best part about it is having fun, man. And you know,
hmm
that's what's going to keep driving you to want to make more music, to keep
absolutely,
going as long as you have fun.
yeah.
You know, it's not fun when it's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you have to have fun, especially
Yeah.
in this world, in this realm that we live in of being in the music industry, being a performer. Like, dude, if we're not having a good time, we're doing it wrong. Like, and like this is like that's kind of just how life is a lot. You know, of course there's hard stuff and there's stuff that's gonna beat you down, but at the end of the day, if what you're doing doesn't fill you with some type of joy, like it's time to figure out something else. Like life is too short, man. Life is too short not to enjoy and love what you get to do.
Yeah, you know, I think we take it a little bit too serious, right? Like, in
Mhm.
people don't know things in moderation. We either go super full blow
Yeah.
bore some way,
Mhm.
or inadequately enough the other way. It's, you know,
Yeah.
it always seems to be a moderation thing.
Yeah.
But you know, the main thing is that is we have people like you out there who, you know, your music is about us all being
Yeah.
unified and us being together, having a great time, right? There's no,
Absolutely.
you know, there's enough
Yeah.
division and divisive stuff out
Yeah.
there. You know, we need that more of that music of, hey, let's be
100%.
together,
Yeah. You know, and I
leave
think
your
it's
bullshit
important
at
to
home,
show that.
let's go drink a beer and
Yes.
let's have some fun, right? You know?
100%. And you know, and I think it's important to be like, hey man, like we can talk about our buddies that got killed. Like we can talk about it, but also we can go down the street and have a good fucking time drinking some beer and just having a good time.
Yeah,
Like there's layers, you know,
right.
and we can just enjoy the layers. You know, there's something beautiful about a sad song that makes you think and makes you, you know, touches your heart and truly makes you dig deep and kind of opens your eyes a little bit. But then there's also something so beautiful about a song that just makes people scream, man. And you just have a good time. You hold a beer up the whole time and you just have a fun time, man. That's one of the best parts about music is that it can truly bring people together from all walks of life in so many different ways. And that's what we want to showcase moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been to enough concerts in my time to see how much music brings all ethnicities, all
Absolutely.
races, all, you know, all different backgrounds, and everybody in there just having a good time for one common cause, and you
Yes,
know, like in the music and stuff. So
absolutely.
it's great, man. Now, is there anything else that you want to cover that maybe we didn't get a chance to cover? Any things that we want to make sure we pimp out?
Yeah, come to Hero Stop.
Yeah, yeah, dude, Hero Stock. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's gonna be fun.
September. You know, and it's gonna be a good time.
It is.
I'll be there. You know,
Heck yeah.
just
Yeah,
don't
I'll
eat
be
don't eat any gummies or nothing from me though. Okay,
no, honestly.
all
Especially
right.
not Derek.
So I'll be your guinea
He
pig.
regretted that like a good
Oh,
hour into it though.
oh yeah, bro. He was. Where's Derek?
Where did he
Where's Derek?
go? He just left.
Yeah, in the
It's
back
so
of his
funny.
car.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Man, that was so fun. But I'm looking
But
forward to it, bro. You know, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
thanks, man.
You're really making the veteran community proud and
I
happy,
appreciate
dude. I
that.
mean,
Thank you.
we want to see, you know, our guys get the W's and get the
Yeah,
wins. You know, you sat there, you fought for our country, you took major sacrifices for our country. You know, I would love one day, you know, you guys doing a big ass Super Bowl you know, celebration, all of our veteran musicians up there having the Super Bowl halftime
yeah.
show, you know what I
It'd be
mean?
amazing.
And you know, Scotty Hasting being the freaking headliner for a
That'd be
Super Bowl
crazy.
or something, you know, just
That'd be crazy.
it would be absolutely crazy. And dude, who knows, man? I mean, there's so many things that happen to you within such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I imagine it's only going to get bigger and better for you. But bro, like I said, I appreciate you, and you always have a spot on this, you know, on this podcast. And I'm sure I'll be asking you to come back on it again when you're, you know,
Let's do
getting
it.
Just getting all these awards and stuff, and
Let's do
best
it.
country music award. Like, all right, here we go.
That'd be crazy. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, yeah, man. Like I said, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Thank you once again for serving our country, and thank you once again for all the great things you're doing for our community. Appreciate you, bro, and we'll see you on the next one, man. If you want to just hold tight, need some crayons, I'll be right back there with you.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. All right, we'll see you. All right, friends and fam. Well, that's going to wrap up another great interview. Sorry a little bit about the technical difficulties there. We're having some internet outages here in the town. And, of course, they want to do it when I got an interview. How inconvenient of them. But anyhow, I hope you guys are having an amazing day out there. You know how I say, don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. Go give Scotty Hasting, go check him out. Go check out all his socials. You can go to his website, www.scottyhasting.com. Once again, that's www.scottyhasting.com. And also, go give him a follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those social media places. You know what I mean? All right. I think I said enough. We'll see you guys. Have a great day.